Welcome, orthodontist in Florida. My name is Adair Jones, and I specialize in marketing for orthodontists. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you need to go take your referring dentist out to lunch more often, or that you need to have some kind of Patients Appreciation Day event at your office. I'm not going to tell you those kinds of things. But what I am going to tell you is why you need a competition analysis. And on the back end of this video, I'll show you what one looks like. Now, this analysis is free. Okay, there's no sales pitch, there's no strings. I basically want to tell you where marketing is going today. Okay, I know we get, as professionals, we get wrapped up in our business and everything else in life that we don't have the time to stay up to date with marketing. But in this competition analysis, I will reveal things about the competition, such as their budgets, their ROI, their marketing strengths and weaknesses, and then I add all this up. There's a few other things that are involved, but I add all this up and basically give you a roadmap or a method of designing a strategy to scale your business this year, right? You got to be better than last year or you're not growing. And if growing and having more patients, having more leads call and come into your office is what you want, then you definitely need a competition analysis. And competition analysis is just that. It's a breakdown on where your competition is in regards to a few things: where they stand in the search engines and how Google sees them, where they rate against you and your online presence, what their budget is in advertising as far as paid advertising, and then what you need to do to generate more leads that turn into clients and do that better than the competition. Now, before you start thinking all that internet, Google, website crap again, listen, marketing has changed. Traditional outbound advertising does not work the way it used to, okay? And stick with me and I'll show you why, and I promise I'll reveal some things that you didn't know about marketing. And besides, if we're not going to talk about tooth-shaped cakes and buying Omaha steaks for your referring dentist or throwing up another billboard, then what are we going to talk about, right? So why the internet? Well, 81% of internet users research before making buying decisions. And you know that's true because you do it. You know, whether it is from choosing a restaurant in town to buying a 65-inch LED TV or getting a boob job, it doesn't matter. 81% of users are researching before they make a buying decision, and the higher the ticket, the more research they're going to do. Okay, now that's not traffic that comes from your radio spots or your TV ad spots or your magazine ad or your billboard or news, whatever. That traffic is not included. This is all internet traffic. Now, here's what's going to keep you up at night. 3% of buyers are buying right now. That's in any industry, that's any niche, any product, or any service. And they've all done their research online. Okay, now basically 97% of consumers out there don't need braces. They're not thinking about braces. They haven't considered it yet, or they're thinking about it, but they're not ready. Okay, so that leaves 3%. Now, this was discovered by Chet Holmes, the author of The Ultimate Sales Machine, where he did his own 20-year study. And he came to the conclusion that 3% of buyers is what's keeping your doors open right now. And that's a scary number to think about, especially when you can't do anything to raise that number. That's just the general consensus of buyers. Now, what this really means is that 3% of new clients are ready to get braces in your area, and it's you against other orthodontists in your area to scoop up that 3%. Now listen, don't miss my point, okay? This is not about competition like it's a race, right? This is simply an understanding of how you can leverage the internet to acquire as many potential clients as you can to meet your financial goals. And this is done through numbers. And in the competition analysis, what I do is I get together who is searching what, I add that total up and then convert that into how many people are actually going to call your office and make an appointment, basically. Now, in order to be positioned like that, okay, you need to do that smarter than the next orthodontist, plain and simple. All right, one quick scenario, and then we'll go live on my computer and I'll show you what you can expect from a competition analysis. So let's say you run a radio spot announcing a slogan, best quality, best price braces in the city. And let's say the city's Atlanta. So Sally, 32 years old, driving in her car, going to work, she's been thinking about braces for a while and she hears the radio ad. Okay. Well, she's driving, so she's not going to jot down the number, she's not going to memorize it, and she probably won't remember your name or the name of your practice. So later that day, Sally, she gets home after work and she puts the kids to bed, she does the dishes, takes out the trash, watches some TV, then she hops online and she remembers, I want to look up that orthodontist. Okay, but she can't remember the phone number, she can't remember the doctor's name. So she goes online and she searches who has the best cost in braces Atlanta. Okay, now strategically, this radio spot was designed with the slogan to contain keywords, all right, that are easy to remember and most likely related to keywords to be searched. So Sally asked Google who has the best price in braces Atlanta. And this is a common and popular keyword combination for someone who is ready to buy, but they still need to make a decision on who to go to. All right, with proper performance in line, i.e. your website, okay, Google tells Sally now that you are the best orthodontist to choose. Now, if we look behind the curtains in all of this, in order to show up for the keywords that people use in search, you have to know where other orthodontists or the competitors are, so that you can know where you need to be. So always remember this, the rules apply to everyone, okay, whether you're playing the game or not. Advertising drives search, just as in the scenario I just gave you. And 81% of all internet users research before buying. The higher the ticket item, the more research they're going to do. And that's why you need a competition analysis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is a sneak peek of the competition analysis. We're going to pick our city as being Phoenix. So what we'll do is, what I do is I start off with the problem statement, okay? Because maybe your digital marketing services really doesn't need ranking, but you still want more leads. So we would go at another angle at lead generation rather than ranking. But so we'll just say for this example that we will identify and analyze internet competitors in the city. Okay, of course, in the orthodontics market, our city being Phoenix, and we're not going to make competitors plural. I'm just going to do one so that this video doesn't take a half an hour to explain or show. Okay, so then what I do next is what I call analysis methodology. And basically this is where I break down the competitor. I methodically break him down and expose his underside basically. So competitor SEO strength analysis of Google page 1, right, positions 1 through 4. I find out who is strong as in regards to the competition, ranking on page 1 in the positions 1 through 4. All right, and by doing that, what that does is it gives us a competitor's strengths and weaknesses. It tells us how well their traditional advertising is doing, that their outbound advertising. Shows if they're doing any kind of paid advertising with PPC, Google AdWords. And then I take all of that and I define basically your minimum effective cost to rank for maximum traffic, which would be to take position 1 over. And we don't always go after position 1. Sometimes position 1 could be an impossible or a too expensive and too long of a process to gain. So what we do is we have alternatives to that. But I define that and I figure all that out as I go through the analysis to determine where we need to be. So we're going to pick the keyword orthodontist Phoenix. Okay, so if we go into Google and we type in orthodontics Phoenix and hit search, right, the guy that shows up number 1, and I set my search tool to Phoenix, Arizona, so now Google thinks we are in the Phoenix area. And what shows up first is murphyorthodontics.com. So I just copy and paste his name into a couple of online tools that I use. One is OSE, Open Site Explorer, and we get a screenshot of, where are we, of what he's doing. He has a domain authority of a 20 and a page authority of 32. We'll talk about that in a minute. He's got 103 backlinks coming from 22 different websites. That ratio you look for should be about a 1 to a 4, a 1 to a 5 ratio. Go a little bit further into the other tool that I use, which is SEM Rush, and this gives us a more detailed description on what's happening with this particular website. This page and this page I'll show you live because you can probably see it better. Okay, so here we are in SEM Rush. He's getting 212 searches a month. All right, that's his traffic, and that's coming from 27 keywords, a total of 27 keywords. And if he were to pay Google AdWords or Bing or whoever for these keywords in a pay-per-click campaign, he could spend at the minimum $1,600. Okay, so he's actually doing pretty well for what he's doing. Come on down, we look and we see, okay, he's got no paid advertising going on right now. 96.4% of his traffic's coming from Google, and the other is coming from Bing. That's what, 3.5%. We look at his top keywords here. Dr. Murphy Orthodontist, he's ranking page 1 or position 1, and he's getting 90 searches because of that keyword. Orthodontist Phoenix, which is the reverse of ours, he's getting 70 searches from that, occupying position 1 for that keyword. Position 1 for the one we just did, Phoenix Orthodontist. Wait, is that what we did? No, we did Orthodontics Phoenix. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 top 1 positions that he's getting great traffic from. We look over here, we see the top 3 search results come from 14 keywords. All right, that's pretty good. Positions 4 through 10, 4 keywords are putting him there, and then he's got 9 keywords that place him on page 2 against the competition. And speaking of the competition, his main competitors are the SmileCreators.com, Arizona Ortho, and Blue Orthodontics, and we can go confirm that by going back to our search results and looking at his competition. There is the Smile Creator or Creation, whatever. There's Blue Orthodontics. So there's 2 out of the 3, and the third one could be getting him up on another keyword rather than this one. So I look at all of that, I decipher everything I just showed you there, and we look at his strengths. Okay, and we see that he is ranking for position 1 for multiple keywords, actually 14 of them, and he's getting 36.4% capture rate. That's 36 clicks per 100 searches. And what a capture rate is people that actually click on his website. Okay, so that's 36.4%. Now I put this in yellow because I want you to remember this here in a few minutes. He's ranking for 27 total keywords. 18 of them get him on page 1, and then he's in his organic search volume, 212 searches a month. That's pretty good for not a lot of SEO, or probably no SEO. We'll find that out here in a minute. Let's look at his weaknesses. Okay, low domain authority. It's only a 20 out of 100, and the page authority is 32 out of 100. For a position 1 strong website, really should show more domain authority. If Google's going to put him there, his competitors may have less than that. I haven't checked that and I'm not, but that number should really be around 50, 40 at the most, at the least, I'm sorry, 40 at the least, 50 or 60. Okay, and then the page authority not too far behind that. 2 position 1 keywords and 1 position 2 keywords are branded keywords. And what I mean by that is here, position 1, Dr. Murphy Orthodontist. Okay, that's a branded keyword. Dr. Chris Murphy, that's a branded keyword, and he actually shows up on the for a second page. I mean, a position number 2 spot for his name again. I don't remember where I saw that at, but anyway, so that's a weakness because they're searching his brand name rather than a keyword like Orthodontist Phoenix or Phoenix Orthodontist. Okay, so that's a good thing. That's good for us. Very weak internal pages. Only homepage ranks for keywords. Okay, and to show you that, let's go into Open Site Explorer. We look here. We have these pages that are backlinking back to the Murphy Orthodontist site, and you can see where it's pointing to murphyorthodontics.com. Now, if it was an internal page, it would be .com/ and then something else behind that, which is what we then call a URL. Okay, but none of these have that, so everything's pointing to the home page for all of his keywords. That's weak. That's very weak or no SEO, which is good for us. Low amount of backlinks, 103 backlinks. It's easy to beat. Low to no deliberate SEO being performed. Okay, so how we can tell that is we go back to SEMrush, and we can just tell overall when we look at all of the stats and kind of put them together to form one major detail is that his SEO is almost not there. Look at this graph, it pretty much stays even all the way through the entire month. If he had SEO, this graph would be up and down, up and down. Look at his search volume here, and then look what he's searching for, or what the keywords are that he's going after. It doesn't seem to be deliberate. There would be more keywords other than just Orthodontist Phoenix or just Phoenix Orthodontist. There would be longer tail keywords. Professional SEOs use longer tail keywords because the longer the keyword is, the more detailed the searcher is trying to get, which means he's narrowing down exactly what he wants to find. And when he's doing that, he is a buying customer. He just needs to know where to buy. And so longer tail keywords really shaves off your qualified traffic from people just looking and just shopping. Okay, and you don't see that here. Another thing that I can do is go back to Open Site Explorer and look at his backlinks coming in. He's got a Pinterest page, which right here that's pretty good because Pinterest has a domain authority of 100, which means Google really trusts Pinterest for what they say and what they point to, even though users control that, but nonetheless. But let's look at this PR web. Okay, so some very mild SEO has been performed because PR web is only used for press releases and the purpose of getting backlinks, qualified backlinks. And then you can look at the title. Phoenix Orthodontist announces launch a new website. So if we go to that and actually look at that page, okay, you can see the keywords that he's going after: orthodontist in Phoenix, Phoenix Orthodontics, Invisalign in Phoenix, dental website design, and Dr. Chris Murphy. Okay, so if we pick that one. Okay, so he has an ad agency, probably built his website and did some minor things for him. Let's back up and okay, yeah, so he had his website created and launched in 2011, 36 pages. Oh, look, SEO. Okay, now this ad agency claims they offer SEO. I'm willing to bet that their SEO is a very, very weak version of quote SEO. agencies don't really stay up to date to the latest changes in Google and their algorithm, because they're too busy doing this other stuff. They're too busy designing and JavaScripting and photo uploading and blogging. You know, they're doing all that other crap. They're not doing SEO. And so the result is this guy here, a 20 domain authority. I mean, if they had deliberate SEO, this should be way up. These backlinks should be way up. So we know that he's got low to no SEO being performed and low to no outbound advertising running. All right, I can show you that here as well. How I can tell that is, let me see, is we go back to here again and we look at his branded keywords. Dr. Murphy orthodontist, Dr. Chris Murphy. Okay, he's getting 90 and 50 off of his name. All right, that's not a drastic change from a common keyword, Orthodontist Phoenix or Phoenix Orthodontist. They're basically in the same range. If he was doing any kind of major outbound advertising, these two branded names would be higher because people would be seeing his name. And he has done some in the past, because how else would someone know his first name to be Chris Murphy, to be Chris? Okay, unless they've seen it in print somewhere, probably in a magazine or probably print somewhere. But these numbers would be much higher than 90 and 50 if he was doing outbound advertising. So we could probably guess that he's not. So those are his weaknesses. Now that we know his weaknesses, we know where we can begin. And what I would do to start off with is I look at this number. Again, we're only looking at just one company, but if this was if I was doing a competition analysis on 3 to 5, and I would add up this total traffic for each report pulled on each website. But we're just going to stick to this. 212 is what he's getting for 27 keywords. Now what I would do is I would go and I would take out the keywords that are most popular and most ranked for, okay, by him and by the other competitors out there. And then I can generate a estimated income to be expected by beating the competition. So I would take 212, that's your click rate, that's your visits through to the website, at 10%. Now this number is variable, but industry standards say that 10 hits generate a lead to a website. Okay, that number could actually be higher if your website was designed to capture more leads than just being the basic website. So we just say 10% as being an average number. All right, that is 21 leads. Those are leads that have researched and they are qualified. Okay, now this number is variable. This depends on whoever's answering your telephone and whether they can convert phone calls to appointments. But I think 20% is a very conservative number to use. So, and that's your close rate. So at 20%, that's 4 appointments set at $225, which is based on the average cost per month per 2-year patient, equaling an extra $900 generated just from occupying spot position 1 for keywords. Okay, so I'll go over that one more time. What we're doing is we're taking the competitor's traffic, okay, and we're going to take it from them. Basically, all these keywords he's ranking for, we're going to rank for him better. And once we do, we now occupy position 1, in turn taking that traffic. So by doing that, okay, we convert that into 10 at 10 clicks, creating a lead, 10%. That's 21 leads coming in. Now these are also leads that have qualified themselves. If they were to make a phone call, or when they make a phone call, they know they want braces. They just need to make an appointment. Okay, this 20% depends on how well your calling center, your front of the office staff can convert phone calls into appointments. But 20% is a very conservative percentage, and that's your close rate basically. So 20% of 21 is 4 appointments being set. Okay, that multiplied times your average monthly cost of a 2-year patient, equaling $900. Now, if this number 20 could go up to just 30, if you could increase that to 30, that would change this to 6 appointments set each month. times $225, that would be $1,350. Okay, so that's just by increasing 10%. All right, so recommended marketing decision. The first thing I would do is rank for the top 3 keywords occupying positions 1 through 3. And to give you an example, I built and ranked a website for Congressman Gene Taylor when he ran an office last year. So if you typed in volunteer for Gene Taylor, you can see that I ranked his website to show up 3 times. Here, the volunteer page, here, the home page, and number 3 spot, the yard sign page. Okay, and that's what I would do, or that's what I would recommend to do for the top 3 keywords. Now, the reason why I want to take up these 3 positions is, remember I told you to remember the yellow 36.4. All right, and when you rank in position 1, you are occupying 36.4% of the traffic. Occupied positions 2 and 3, which is 12.5 and 9.5, that gives you a total of 58.4% control of the search volume for the 3 targeted keywords. Okay, that's a lot of traffic, and they're qualified. So that's what I would do. Secondly, I would improve your domain authority and your page authority as a fail-safe protection plan. Okay, so in case the competitor decides to go get professional SEO, they can throw money at it, they can beat it to death with backlinks, they can do whatever they want to do, but because the domain authority that I've created is so high, they can't touch it. They'll get tired trying. Right? And then later on, we would engage with purpose on Facebook. There's certain lead generating Facebook tactics that you can train your staff to do. They come in first thing in the morning, takes 10 minutes, knock it out of the way, boom, you don't ever have to go back to Facebook again until the next day. But I would do that and add additional social media properties to your business, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, things like that. Mainly because, well, 2 reasons. One, you can use those as lead generators, but also since the last Skyfall update by Google, they are now looking for social media properties being attached to real websites. Now, take what I just told you and go ask these guys if they know what I'm talking about. And then after 6 to 8 months, thereabouts, we can design an ad campaign for branding, specifically for branding, but also having a dual purpose of driving specific traffic, a specific demographic traffic to your website. So you may want to get the 35-year-old, or you may want to go after high school kids, which means you would be targeting the parents. But we would hone in on one particular type of person who would possibly think about or need braces, and we would go after that with a design. So hopefully you understand the importance of digital marketing and how it can affect your business in 2 ways. Okay, one way being good, by staying ahead of other orthodontists, resulting in predictable qualified leads. Or the other way, which is bad, the competition gets professional digital marketing, pushing your site further down the page and then making it harder to beat them. Okay, so if you've learned something and you want to get a competition analysis, it's free. Just click the yellow button down below, and we will be chatting soon. Thanks for watching.